Sorry, one more check on my side, please. Will I be able to share my screen when that time comes?
And welcome everyone to Online Presenters. I am Sunny Fridge. This meeting of the Online Presenters Toastmasters Club has now begun. Guests, please note, in order to be a member of our club, you must be a current or former active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 official speeches. However, if you have substantial relevant presentation experience, we welcome you to apply for membership after demonstrating your abilities in a 2 to 3 minute speech during one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject to approval by the members of our club. If you have not already done so, please change your panel to ensure it displays your name and role. Hover over your video, right-click, and select Rename to do so. Also, please mute your microphone when you're not speaking. We have members and guests from many countries throughout the world. As a professional organization, we ask that you please be aware of language or word usage that may be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. Please note that we will be recording the meeting. Your video and audio contribution may be used for club marketing purposes. Now, please help me welcome back our club president, Mary Ann Grady.
Well, it's so good to be back. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Online Presenters, where our club mission is to serve those who give online presentations professionally or aspire to do so. And that could mean public webcasts, live video, internal company video conferences, and screen sharing sessions. So if you do those kinds of things, you're in the right place. Now, Toastmasters International has put forth a challenge, and it is the +1 pledge, asking you to bring at least one member to a meeting, one guest to a meeting by the end of December. So if you can think of somebody, bring them along. I will ask that you sign up for roles. I noted that I got a couple emails from Andre saying, he needed to have some roles filled, and he was really on top of it as the Toastmaster of the day. So I was very happy about that. Tonight, at the end of the meeting, Sarah Idahan, our treasurer, will be giving us a little presentation about the budget. So I hope that you'll stay with us for that. Now, all of you are quite lucky because we do have a very interesting meeting coming ahead. But why are you really lucky? Because our Toastmaster of the day is Andre Smolenko, and he always does an amazing job. So please welcome Andre.
Thank you very much, Madam President, my fellow online presenters, Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I'm your Toastmaster of the evening today, and today the evening all about luck. Exactly, all about luck. So according to the Google definition of luck, is success or failure apparently brought by chance rather through one's own actions. So it's all about chance and it's nothing to do with what we do. However, people from all around the world from time immemorial thought, nah, we better create our own luck with little hard work. For example, famous horseshoes supposed to bring you a good luck. An important thing in some parts of the world when the horseshoe on your house door facing upwards. In other countries, Eastern Europe, for example, when it's facing downwards, that brings you good luck. In some parts of Northern America and Europe again, we have rabbit's foot. The more rabbit's foot you carry with you, the luckier you are considered to feel. And of course, our favorite, without whom nothing exists, is four-leaf clover. Of course, all those Irish leprechauns and people carrying four-leaf clover, they're the most iconic lucky people throughout the world? Well, there are many other little things that bring us good fortune and good luck. And what I'm planning to do, I would like to encourage you, since we are well-diverse, a multinational club, to put in the chat little things from place where you are that supposed to bring us good luck. Please put it in the chat. More than that, in some places like China, for example, the people created feng shui. A feng shui is an ancient art of arranging space, objects within certain pattern, and that pattern supposed to bring prosperity, peace, balance, and good luck. At the same time, in the same country, the other people say different things. I don't rely on feng shui. I believe hard work brings us good luck and success. John Kangwei is one of the Philippine millionaires, quite a successful person. So as we can see, for some of us, carrying a 4-leaf clover brings a good luck. For some of us, just hard work and dedication. And one of my favorite quotes, I think, sums it all up about good luck and good fortune. And it's a quote by Thomas Jefferson. I am a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. And with this quote in mind, I would like to start this lucky, hopefully lucky for us meeting. What we're going to do, the first part is tech tip. Tech tip is our own unique online presenter's speech. And that's 3 to 5. Normally we have a short speech, but this time I think it will be a little bit longer and much more interesting. And that tech tip short speech will be presented by our club president, Marianne Grady. Marianne, the stage is yours.
Well, thank you. And it's not a tech tip, it's just a tip of the day. We're talking about networking tonight. My mother always said, Marianne, don't talk to strangers. Did your parents give you that advice? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Tonight, I'm going to tell you why that is very bad advice once you're an adult. I'll be speaking about networking and why it's important. A lot of people find it very difficult to go to a networking event, participate in small talk with strangers, take a business card, never to speak to that person ever again. Have any of you ever done that? When I was a young professional, I did. I had a vast network, so many people, looked great on paper, but in reality, they weren't really my network. They were just people I ran into along the way. To see networking as a valuable exercise, think of it this way. Your connections can help you navigate through your career by giving you diversity of thought, recommendations, advice, and a plethora of other benefits. I love to network, said nobody ever. To shift our perspective, consider these facts. 85% of positions are gotten through networking. 95% of professionals consider face-to-face communication vital for long-term business. 83% of employees work remotely at least part of the time. Networking, simply put, is relationship building. We all know that building relationships takes time. Your valuable time. Is it worth it? Contrary to popular belief, networking events are probably the worst place to network. And why is that? Because they create an awkward, contrived environment. And where are you supposed to network? Where are you supposed to meet people? Anywhere. The best relationships have people who have things in common. So think of all the places that you go. So it could be to a conference, it could be to your kid's soccer game, it could be the gym, a leadership event, or even Starbucks. So now, You never know when you're going to meet somebody who can connect you to a strategic partnership. Oops, sorry about that. A strategic partnership or to your destiny. So I'm going to give you some tips to become a better networker. Networking is not something you go into with a what's in it for me mindset. Quite the opposite. You deposit into the bank. It could be a simple introduction, a tip, a job opportunity, or even an article with a topic that interests the other person. Next, be approachable. A lot of us forget how we look to others. So you're just kind of hanging out and you kind of got a puss on your face. Smile. That makes you way more approachable. So be conscious of how you look to others. Listen carefully when you meet people, and all the time for that matter. Make sure there's no distractions. Because when you're listening to somebody very carefully, that's when you may find an opportunity to help them. I call this connecting the dots, and that's probably the most effective way to network with others. When you introduce people in your network, I'm having a problem here. When you introduce people in your network, make sure that you give them a glowing reference or introduction. So, Jane, my friend Jack is an accomplished executive coach. We hired him to work with our sales teams, and our numbers went up 20%. I think he might be able to help you with your situation. Jack, this is my friend Jane. She leads a very high-performing sales team, and she's always looking for ways to make them even better. I immediately thought of you. So be authentic. Don't try to be interesting. Questions and curiosity drive the conversation forward. Even introverts can do that well if they're truly interested in the other person. Now, one of our members, Teresa, hashtags curiosity conversations in some of her social media posts. And I think Teresa has the real right idea. Remember, whether small talk is something that you like or don't like, it's an integral part of social interaction. And it's the gateway to big talk, deeper conversations that can lead you to better things. So it's necessary to get to know somebody and develop rapport before you move on to that next level. So practice it and get better because it's a critical skill. One of the big don'ts in networking is being a vampire networker. And I call people who ask for favors without putting anything into the bank ahead of time vampires. They're just looking to use me for what I can offer them. And I really don't feel obliged to those people at all. So make sure that if you're going to be working with others, that you're trying to help them as well as getting them to help you. Now, during my career, I had an intern. Her name was Megan, and she was a rock star, worked her butt off for us. So when the Society of Human Resources was doing their conference, I recommended Megan to be the assistant to the conference chairs. Now, this position, she worked hard, she did, but she got exposed to HR professionals from all over the state. And when she graduated a year and a half later, she had several job offers. And it was because her work ethic and her really strong networking skills. It can be a kind of social capital to effectively keep things moving forward. Think about it as being helpful rather than a dreaded obligation. It's time to see strangers as opportunities for building relationships. It's common sense connecting. Your parents said, don't speak to strangers. Well, it's time to toss that advice and say hello to the next member of your network. Mr. Toastmaster.
Brilliant. What a wonderful tip of the day, Marian. Thank you. I've done quite a few networking events, wasn't really successful. I think using your tips hopefully will bring me a bit more good luck. So thanks. Right, and what we're going to do next? The next thing for me to introduce helpers those amazing people without whom this meeting would be virtually impossible. Then we're going to have prepared speeches section. We have only one prepared speaker today, and the exciting bit as well, we have a prospect member speech today by our guests. Soon will be member. That's the exciting bit. After that, we're going to table topics, so impromptu speaking section, following by evaluations. And the general evaluator, Andrew Byrne, will take over from me from that moment. As you can see, we're going to have a quite full and interesting evening. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask my helpers about their roles, a brief description, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and we can move on. I would like to start with our timer. Tracer, please explain what you're going to do and how.
Hi, everyone. I'm the timer today, and I will be keeping track of time and making sure that we're all abiding by the time constraints, because nothing throws an event off more than people who don't use their time well. So this is what we want to be mindful of that. And so for our speakers, hold on just one second. I'm a little bit new at this role. So for our speakers, we're going to have 5 to 7 minutes. So at the 5-minute mark, you're going to get the green. At 6 minutes, you'll get yellow. And at 7 minutes, you'll get red. And you'll have a 30-second grace period on that. And for table topics, we do 1 to 2 minutes on that. So you'll get green at the 1-minute mark, 1 minute and 30 seconds, you'll get the yellow, and at red, you'll get the 2-minute mark, and you have 15 seconds to wrap that up. And then for the evaluators, we've got 2 to 3 minutes on those. So that'll be 2 minutes at the green, 2 minutes and 30 seconds at the yellow, and 3 minutes at the red. So thank you so much. And I'll turn it back over to Andre. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracer, for this great and to the point explanation. And for all the speakers and table topics participators, you can find Tracer on your top left corner of the screen. So she's a timer. Please look out for her. The next person I'm going to introduce is our grammarian. And grammarian, our guests. Well done for doing this role for Marie-Claude Legrand. I'm really sorry if I didn't pronounce it properly. I'll do it again. Marie-Claude Legrand, our grammarian, please.
Correct. Good evening, everyone. And yes, as a grammarian, I'll be the one listening and paying close attention to your use of the language, taking note of first the misuse of the language of Shakespeare, and also the outstanding quotes, thoughts, proverbs, and sayings that are here all along the meeting. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to remind you of the word of the day, which is innovation. Innovation, the word of the day, and as written in the chat, as a noun, innovation means the action or process of innovating. And for example, you have innovation is crucial to the continuous success of any organization. And in plural, it means a new idea, a new method, idea, innovations. Technological, for example, technological innovation designed to serve energy. And over to you, Mr. the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for this introduction. And now for the rest of the helpers, I would like to remind, please keep your introductions brief, up to 1 minute. and you will get a chance to report your findings at the end of the meeting as well. The next helper I'm going to introduce is our Arcanta. Arcanta is, sorry, one sec. I'm just trying to look through my notes. Right, here we go. It's Ruth Allen. Please tell us about your role.
But today I'll just be checking on overused words, filler words, are, and so. Those words that make communication less clear. It's not about this is not about shaming anyone around the use of language. It's about scaling and helping you be better communicators, better leaders. The more I'm able to actually pinpoint those filler words for you and then report it to you, the more aware you are, so that you can then figure out how to navigate new ways of communicating. That's what I'm doing today. So thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Ruth Allen, for that smashing introduction to your role. And we have a few more helpers as well, without whom this meeting would be virtually impossible. And I would like to salute and introduce our watcher. Our watcher is a guest, Fule Chi B. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it properly. I will do my best when you come back to our meeting next time. But you are the watcher, Fule. Please explain your role.
Thank you. So my name is Fulachi. My role is, as the word implies, to watch you. Watch. So I'm watching you, making sure that you are participating and you're seated well in your camera. And we are looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.
Brilliant. Fulichi, well, thank you for that introduction. And next, a very interesting role. Some people told me it's quite unique for online presenters, and I would like to keep it that way. And it's our chat monitor. Chat monitor and prospective member. I can't wait to introduce, I'm sorry, it's just a bit mixed up with the screens. It's Alison Blakeman.
Yes.
Please, Alison, introduce
Yes.
the role.
During today's meeting, I will be monitoring the chat and facilitating the chat that will be a back-end communication channel. So I will answer questions, and then at the end, when called upon, I will report back to the group on the communications from the chat. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alison. Right, I think we'll introduce all the roles. And now we can, oh no, there's one more role. Sorry, Johnny, I almost forgot you. How could I? Anyways, vote counter, Johnny Laidlaw. Please tell us about your role.
Thank you, our Toastmaster of the Day. With innovation, Online Presenters has a special rule called vote counters, but today I got lucky. I don't know if it's luck of the Irish or luck of the other speaker didn't show up, but for today, we will only be doing the vote on table topics. I'll drop the link in the chat for all of us to vote on at the appropriate time. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Johnny. I think we're all done and fully prepared to get even more luckier. And as Johnny said, we have only one prepared speech for today. And our first and the only speaker and the winner, I hope, for today is Graham Carnes. Graham Carnes, DTM. He is doing his projects on effective coaching level 1, mastering fundamentals, writing a speech with purpose. And his speech is called Paying It Forward. Graham Carnes is undertaking the effective coaching path for the second time. But this time, he's doing all the projects in this path, in this club, in Online Presenters. That's where he's favorites. And he's aiming to make all of the speeches related to teaching, training, and coaching. Today, his speech is entitled Pay It Forward. Graham Carnes.
One of the guilty pleasures that my wife and I share is watching dashcam videos, those recordings from in a car or in a truck that show the egregiously bad driving of motorists around the world. Mr. Toastmaster, friends, there's a specific subgenre of dashcam vids often referred to as instant karma, where somebody does something wrong and gets punished by the universe almost instantly. For example, drive down the emergency stopping lane just to get past other cars? There are going to be cops waiting to pull you up. Cut somebody off aggressively? Well, you'll go into an uncontrolled spin and hit a traffic barrier. You get the point. It's instant karma. But that, quite frankly, is a complete misunderstanding of the concept of karma, as is the idea that I should do good things so karma will reward me. That's not how it works, or at least that's an incomplete understanding of karma. In Buddhist and to a lesser extent in Hindu belief, the universal view of karma is that the universe wants to be balanced, and so good deeds and thoughts will be rewarded either in this life or in a future one, and bad deeds or thoughts will be punished. But there is, quite frankly, a much more nuanced version. I'll call it the personal view of karma, where actions of body, speech, and mind bring positive experiences in their wake, and bad actions bring negative experiences. An example of that from the Buddhist tradition is giving food and money to monks and nuns. That generosity makes me happy because my generosity has brought me into connection with the community. On the other hand, fiddling my taxes and stealing stationery from my workplace makes me less happy, not least of which because of the anxiety that it creates. Now, Buddhist ethics is based on the axiom that actions have consequences, but a good action is one that not only has good consequences for me, but for everyone. And there's a similar school of thought in Western philosophy. It's called enlightened self-interest, or doing well by doing good. Now, this is not just self-interest. Self-interest is doing things because they benefit you. That's also known as, well, greed or selfishness. Now, I'm talking about enlightened self-interest. So what is enlightened self-interest? It's the idea that if you act in the interests of others, you benefit yourself at the same time. It's different from altruism. Altruism involves doing things to benefit other people without even thinking about getting other benefits, doing it just because you should. And it's also quite different from the bastard stepchild of altruism and greed, objectivism. Now, enlightened self-interest is the philosophy that by benefiting our community, we make that community a better and more productive place to be. And that is a benefit for us at the same time. It's a benefit because we serve. Let's say you decide to assist a fellow club member in Toastmasters, or perhaps a less experienced workmate in your workplace. Altruism says, well, you do that because they need the skills. I have the skills. I should help them just because I can. And that's fine. But enlightened self-interest says, my workplace, my club, my community will be better if I do this, and I will benefit from that improvement. But enlightened self-interest actually goes further. It says the act of taking on the role of trainer or coach or mentor or supporter has benefits in and of itself. So let's take a look at some of those benefits. Hands up here, anyone who is or aspires to be in, say, middle management, maybe a supervisor or a line manager in your plant, perhaps a manager in your office, the leader of a sales team. Anybody sort of aspire to get to that role? Well, let me let you in on a secret. The skill set that you learn as, say, a mentor or a coach in a Toastmasters club will translate directly into the skills that you need to do those positions. Think about them. Assisting people of varying competencies to become more competent. Guiding people through a period of change. Pointing out the flaws of talking the talk but not walking the walk. Those are all things that you do as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor, as a trainer. But here's the thing. While you're assisting a protege to grow and develop, you're continuing to grow and develop yourself. We're all Toastmasters, so I'll use evaluation as an example. Now, delivering a good evaluation not only helps the speaker grow, which is why we do it, but it makes you reflect on what works and what doesn't. And so you personally get benefits from delivering a good evaluation. The same applies in everything you do. Enlightened self-interest means that we ourselves get benefits because we are stepping up to the plate. In the workplace, church, in other community or social organizations, even in the family, there are skills which are quite sadly all too often missing. But if we have those skills and we share that knowledge, then we can help fill that gap. We also reinforce in ourselves an innate knowledge of what works and what doesn't. So we get a stronger community. We get a more efficient workplace. We get a better Toastmasters club or a better church fellowship or a better family. But most of all, we get a better us. You get a better you. And that's something we should all aim to be on board with. It was 25 years ago that there was a novel which was turned into a movie starring Haley Joel Osment and Helen Hunt and Kevin Spacey. It was called Pay It Forward, which is the title of this presentation. And although the movie was actually pretty hokey, it did introduce the concept of enlightened self-interest to many people. The idea was that if you're given a favor or a benefit, instead of paying it back to your benefactor, you should pay it forward, assist perhaps 3 other people, because that will make the world a better place. That means that a single act of kindness can blossom and can bloom. Have you benefited from the enlightened self-interest of someone in your life? Maybe a mentor, maybe a trainer, maybe a coach, maybe a friend. Well, maybe you'd like to do the same. Reach out to those around you. Do something to help your community, your workplace, or your club. Do it for their benefit and do it for your own. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Graham. Pay it forward. Really like that idea. With a little bit of luck, yeah, we can get it to the next level. Madam Timer, could you please tell us about Graham timing for his speech?
Yes, Graham came in at 7 minutes and 10 seconds, so he meets the qualifications.
Graham Carnes met the qualifications, then I suppose we don't need to conduct the vote. Because normally what we do at the club, when we have 2, 3, sometimes even more prepared speeches, and when everyone qualified within their time frame, we conduct the vote. We ask members to vote via link or just in an old-fashioned way by sending message to our vote counter. But today, looks like our vote counter is going to have an easy life, at least for now. And now, I just really feel lucky and I feel privileged of introducing a prospective member speech, because we are advanced club. And in order to fulfill our criteria, we would normally ask for extensive presentation experience that can be demonstrated in a speech to the club, unless you already have completed at least 6 speeches on any pathway with Toastmasters. Today, our prospective member is Alison Blakeman. She will be giving a prospective member speech. So, right, I feel really excited about that. So, Alison, the stage is all yours. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and esteemed Toastmasters. My name is Alison Blakeman, and about 5 weeks ago, I came across the Online Presenters Toastmasters group online, and I registered to attend the first meeting as a guest. And I heard Jickie present and teach a lot of valuable tips. During that meeting, I took a lot of notes and I learned so much. And I took that back to my current day job. In my day job, I am an account manager for an international software company. Currently, I take care of 14 Fortune 500 clients that use our software to connect to their clients. Each week, I speak probably to 12 meetings where I speak, present, and lead in client discussions. And I have learned so much in the past 5 weeks from this group. It has led me to not only join a home Toastmasters group, I joined a secondary specialty group. Within 7 days of joining, I was asked to be an area director. I've stepped up, completed the area director training, and I'm looking also, I have to complete my level 2 in order to become a coach. And I'm working on that. I have currently presented 2 speeches in the past 3 weeks. I was going to speak last week, but someone had already filled that. So I've got 2 speeches under my belt. I have 3 speeches currently scheduled for the next 2 weeks across 2 different clubs. And I would be honored if you would vote me into this fine organization. I feel that I can learn so much, and then together we can collaborate and innovate to better ourselves. I've learned so much from Graham, David Carr, Jim, Dr. Byrne, and Andre Traka. Your speeches motivate me so much. And I'm a little rushed tonight because I drove 4 hours from a funeral. I got home, I messaged Andre, and I had 4 minutes to spare before 7:30 Eastern time. And then Andre asked me, can you get on cam? So I had to rush, get my laptop plugged up and everything and get on cam. And then I was asked to be the chat monitor. And I'm like, wow, it's been a whirlwind of a day. But I had planned on, I would not reschedule this because I've been waiting for the opportunity to join this fine group. And I'm right at almost 3 minutes. So I would like to be considered to join this fine group so that I can participate and learn and grow with all of you. Thank you very much. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Wow, what a speech, Alison. Thank you very much for that introduction to our club. What we're going to do next with our prospect members, I see a number of guests here today. So after they demonstrated, for example, as Alison, their skills in online public speaking, or they have a Toastmaster proven journey of public speaking, we as a club need to conduct a vote. So majority of members should accept, and I have a good feeling that for some of the people who are here today, they will be accepted with a bit of luck, or there's no luck needed at all. And we will conduct the votes very quickly and swiftly. Perhaps at the next meeting, we will inaugurate our new member into the club. So this is what's going to happen next. I would say for now, we've done it's not tech tip, it was a tip of the day. I've introduced the roles. We had one prepared speech. We also had a prospects member speech. Things going on in the chat. So I feel things are buzzing in this club and I like it. And with all that buzz in the air, I would like to pass this virtual stage to our table topics master. Table topics master will tell everything about what's going to happen next and is Raquel Jones. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. It's raining over here, cats and dogs in Jamaica. I'm hoping that you guys are able to hear me clearly. Yes? Fabulous, wonderful. Let me go ahead and share my screen with everybody. Here we go. Oh, perfect.
You make me stronger. Oh, oh, you make me stronger. Gracias, Jesus.
All right, so just to get right into it, So sorry about that. Let me get back in on the current slide. All right, my apologies for that. So good evening again, everyone. So happy to be here with you today as your table topics master. Just to give you a little bit of the rules as to how table topics works. So it's really the impromptu section of any Toastmasters meeting, and speeches in this segment should be no longer than 1 to 2 minutes, all right? So Ms. Timer, I know that you are ready to go. The green card will show after 1 minute. The yellow card will show after 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the red card, which should indicate that you should stop speaking at 2 minutes. Now, this is an exciting section of any Toastmasters meeting. The speeches are not planned, so I just want you to relax, breathe, and be ready to respond when called upon to do so. So we should get into about 10 minutes in this segment. Are we ready to go? You guys are excited. I see thumbs up. Everybody's up and running. Wonderful. So who's ready to take question number 1? I see my timer's hand is up. Not seeing any other hands up at this time. Can I go ahead and volunteer you, Mr. GE? Toastmaster Andrew, are you ready?
Absolutely. We're happy to help
Wonderful.
out.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, question 1. I'm keeping it within the theme of this meeting this afternoon. Do you believe in luck?
Do I believe in luck? I believe that we make our own luck. And that is the concept that many people with innovation in mind think about. It was something that Henry Ford talked about when he was building his plants and created the factory line, which didn't exist before, because he had a goal in mind. He used the SMART goal concept, and he had a goal and he wanted to get to it. He developed the line for putting things together and having people work together and doing that as a team. He was very successful in that, and that led to the Model T, which led to more cars being produced, which led to an entire industry. Luck is what people focus on when they don't take things under control in their own process. It's important that you believe in yourself, you have self-confidence, and in having self-confidence, you work on whatever the goal that you have, work it through, and continue to work that process until you reach your successful conclusion. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Andrew. Very, very good. And absolutely within the time. And I have to agree with you right there. You've got to work on it and create your own luck. Who is ready to get into question number 2? Let's see. Before we get to question number 2, though, I want to share a little bit of a quote with you. And this quote is really a scripture which says it's not luck, but it's really God's favor. And it states from John 1, verse 16, from the fullness of his grace, we have all received one blessing after another. Toastmaster Dr. Sonny Fridge, I see your hand up. I know you're ready. Let's go. Let's get into question number 2. Yes, ma'am. If you fail to plan to fail. Do you agree?
Wow. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I don't agree with that. It's interesting. Years ago, when I was an educator at a local university, a lot of my kids, I would tell them, failure is not an option. And they say, oh, Dr. Fritz, that's so inspiring. And then I became a John Maxwell coach. And I learned that failure is an option because you can fail forward. And quitting is not an option And I think that is much, much better. I'll call you back. Sometimes you fail to turn off your devices. Now that's failure right there. But it was my mom and I hung up on my mom. Oh, Lord. But back to the question. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I think that as long as you keep planning, and even if you fail forward, as Les Brown says, if you're down on your knees and you can look up, you can get up. So I plan to, if I fail, to get up because I'll be looking up. Back to you.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. I heard so many fabulous nuggets coming from you. You said, fail forward. You said, get up because you are looking up. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. All right, all right. I have a quote for everybody today, and it says from Thomas Jefferson, I'm a great believer in luck. I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. I've got to agree with this gentleman right here. We are moving, we are moving. We are not failing forward today, but certainly we want to talk about a little bit about how we can create certainly our own luck. So I know somebody else is ready. Who else is gonna go for table topics? I see my vote counter, none other than DTM Jody Laidlaw. You will take over the third question, and it goes like this. True or false? Preparation is luck meeting opportunity.
I believe that is completely true. I don't believe that it's failure or success. I believe that failure is actually an integral part that causes you to innovate. See, innovation is necessary, but you only get that out of the necessity being the mother of all invention. Think about it. Do we ever change anything whenever everything is going right? We only adjust things whenever it's a little bit uncomfortable or it's not in the order that I like or it's not going the way I want. The good thing about an opportunity, though, is the more that you have transferable skills. Those are skills that, say, for example, I know how to use Canva, but it also helps with PowerPoint because there's skills that you learn in one place that can help you somewhere else. In Toastmasters, I learned how to speak to people. And as Marianne said, though I absolutely despise small talk, I know I'm at the stage where I think if I go to a networking event, I'm able to do it. So that's always a good thing. That's how preparation meets luck. Toastmasters is where we fail forward and why I absolutely love it because I get the chance to wax philosophical and say it out loud and get to look at everybody's face so that when the time comes where I actually have to connect with communication, I'm prepared. See, preparation, it's just luck meeting opportunity. Like I always say to my son, we can't be good at everything. And sometimes the chance it takes to be good at one thing would take the time for all the other things that you can be good at. It's about choice. That's what creates luck. It's about being prepared so that when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready. Back to you, our table topics master.
Wow, 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 wow. Madam Vote Counter, well done. Listen, we've got to seize the opportunity, but we've got to be prepared for it. I have one more question. One more question. Who is going? This question is hot. It's moving. It's on the train. Who is going to take this question tonight? Last question in our table topic segment. Let me look at my participants list and let me pick on. I'm sorry,
Jim
I heard
Barber.
someone answer.
I was just saying, Jim's got his hand up.
Jim has got his hand up. Fabulous, fabulous. Jim, gonna go ahead and give you question number 4 to take us out of table topics. Last question says or asks, how does innovation fuel luck?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. How does innovation fuel luck? Actually, I think that's backwards. Luck fuels innovation. Innovation is an interesting phenomenon. We put a lot of focus on improvement. And improvement is good, but improvement is simply an incremental step. It's making something that's good into something that's better. But innovation is creating something or doing something that it doesn't have any precedent. And that is not a thing of improving. You are actually making something that did not exist before. Innovation is what people should aspire to, not improvement. Improvement is nice, but it's not nearly as significant, as wonderful as innovation is. And innovation is luck, is based a lot on luck. But again, not random chance luck, but the luck as it was defined a few moments ago of when preparation meets opportunity. You prepare. You don't know what you're preparing for. You don't know when the opportunity is going to present itself, but you prepare. Then, when the opportunity presents itself, you're able to take advantage of it and innovate, not improve, but innovate. And that's when something that has not existed before comes to fruition. An example would be the Stephen Jobs and the iPhone. Cell phones are improving every year. They make them a little bit better. But the iPhone, there was nothing like that before. That was something awesome. That was something that just occurred. Innovation is the key. That is what we should be striving for. Madam Topics Master.
Wow. Toastmaster Jim, thank you so much. Can we just go ahead and applaud everyone for these speeches in the table topics section? Excellent, everybody. Well done, guys. And I just want to leave you with a final thought. The day you decide to do it is your lucky day. Mr. Toastmaster of the evening, back to you, sir.
Wow, Raquel. I would like to everyone just unmute themselves and applaud you, saying, well done, Raquel. Well done for this amazing table topic. Hey, well done. Really well prepared within the theme about luck, about work, innovation, all sorts of things. Really well prepared. I can't wait to hear your speech at our club probably next time. So thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guests, and my fellow members, we've completed 2 amazing parts of the evening. And now we're going to jump into, I would say, one of my favorite parts is evaluations. Evaluation parts of the evening will be led by General Evaluator, Dr. Andrew Byrne. Andrew, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Andre. Appreciate all the work that you've done. And the way the General Evaluation segment functions, it's the most important section. Why is it the most important section? Because we concentrate on putting all together the feedback, the listening, the active listening, and what we saw, what we heard, and how it made us feel. In the event that we do a good job on this, then we're going to improve your skills and you will move forward and get better and better at what you're doing in communication and ultimately leadership. So this is a very important section, very important. We had one speaker, and our evaluator today is Sherry Blake, and we look forward to having her do that. When she finishes and completes her evaluation, I will then call upon each of the functionaries or people that had roles and ask them to give their reports. And after that, I'll give a general report of how the meeting went. To you, Sherry, come on up or turn on your mic, whichever way it is.
Thank you so much for that. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I have the pleasure of evaluating Graham Carnes' speech on the concept of enlightened self-interest. So this idea, to me, encourages us to pursue our own personal growth while also considering the impact of our actions on others. So throughout Graham's speech, he encouraged us to contemplate the concept of first, karma, urging us to consider the importance of doing good deeds without expectation of personal gain. And he gave us something to think about. So let us begin by highlighting his strengths. One of the standout elements was his clear, engaging introduction of the concept of enlightened self-interest. He effectively spoke on other concepts that kind of all came together and all had similar meanings. So one was, and I love this phrase, and this is something that I always love to do, and it's pay it forward. So from that, he also talked about altruism and self-interests, where, again, all of these contained a cohesive framework for personal growth and community well-being. So overall, these concepts, again, they all work together to convey a powerful message. And that was one thing that I liked about his speech, because they all aligned with each other. Another thing that I liked about Graham's speech is his delivery. So Graham, to me, he just has this strong, powerful voice. I just love listening to him. And of course, that comes from his background in radio. So he exhibited a strong delivery. He clearly demonstrated confidence in his message. He was commanding presence, and he also engaged the audience, right, by asking us a question. And I guess we did respond to him. So again, that clear vocal tone, I felt that his pace was very steady to help him convey his topic with enthusiasm. So, right. So, and his confidence allowed him to emphasize his key points, and all of those resonated with me, and I'm hopefully all the listeners. So let's talk about improvements. I know I mentioned this, I think I evaluated Graham before, and I always talk about, like, I would love to see Graham do a speech and stand up. I think he's always sitting. That's the way it looks because of the background. So I would love to see him stand while giving a speech. But if he chooses not to, I would suggest that maybe he sits back just a little bit so we can see more of the hand gestures, the full range of his body. So that would make his points even more dynamic. So standing up could also allow him to, physically connect with the audience and drawing us into him while he's emphasizing his message. Overall, always a great speech, Graham. I enjoyed listening to you, and I look forward to hearing you in the future. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Sherry. I hope all of you saw the work that Teresa was doing in terms of her role as the timer. Everything we do in Toastmasters is to help us develop a sense of timing and time management. And Teresa was doing that. This segment of the meeting has 3 components of green, yellow, and red, which means that you've hit the minimum time for your evaluation, the middle part of it, and the end part. And we appreciate Teresa helping us in doing the timing for all the parts of our meeting. The next thing is I'm going to call on the individuals that are called functionaries that helped us with how we monitored our meeting so that we could all learn more. First, I'd like to call on our watcher for her report. Turn off your mic and start talking.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I would say we're all seated well. I would only encourage Marie-Claude to centralize herself in her camera. I'm not too sure if she's capable of doing that, but would love to see you fill up your camera in your sitting position. Yes, seeing more of you is good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We have grammarian Marie Claudette P. Legrand. Can you give us how we did on the use of the word of the day, innovation?
Thank you. I have for my 3 segments, I have just a few corrections to make, and but inputs. I suppose I'm the timer. I will have the chance to tell them all, to report them all. If ever I go too long, feel free to stop me, Madam the timer. So as misuse, I heard the green, the yellow, and the red. Instead, I would repeat that. I was talking about the green background, the yellow one, and the red one. I heard the chat and the most important section instead of the chat and the most important section. Remember that the is supposed to be pronounced the in front of consonant sound and the just in front of vowel sounds. I heard DTM. Sometimes you can write DTM. Sometimes you can say DTM, but when calling the person or when naming the person, please, you'd better say distinguished Toastmaster. For the word of the day, it was used, there was a form used by Toastmaster Joni, innovate, and I heard it 3 times from Toastmaster Jim Barber, is it Jim Barber? And twice by Madam the Table Topics Master. Outstanding quotes and saying, there were 13 of them. Please remember, Madam the timer, to stop me if I go over time. I want to read Thomas Jefferson's quotes that was mentioned twice. I don't want to read it. I had a sentence it was too long for me to take down. You never know when you'll meet someone and it ends like through your destiny. I loved it. I had smile that makes you more approachable. The great way, the big talk. I had a vampire networker. I also have common sense connecting. The universe wants to be balanced. Enlightened self-interest. I read it from the chat. When one teaches to learn, I also had a single act of kindness can help you blow and blossom. A failure is the integrate part that makes you innovate. Okay. If you are down your knees and looking up, you can get up. Failure is an option, quitting is not. And the last one I had is, if the day you decide to do something is your lucky day. And that's all for my report. Over to you, Mr. the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. We next are going to call upon our very special counter, Toastmaster Ruth Ellen.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So I'm going to keep this short and snappy because I know that we're running short on time. But what I wanted to commend the club about overall when it comes to R is the very fact that everyone paused when they was about to use a filler word or when they used a filler word and they recognize that awareness. So really helpful way to reduce those filler words and those words that don't always make our language as clean as it could be. Now to break down some of the ums and ahs, Andre noticed 2 and I was being very picky, very, very picky. Marie, I noticed 3 words like so and. Sherry, I noticed used a few times. I think it was like 4 or 5. And Raquel, I noticed 1. Again, pause, pace, and proceed. It's really helpful. I'm going to also try to do an advanced recommendation for Graham. Loved Graham's hand gestures when he was delivering his speech. And I know technically hand gestures aren't even included in this element. But actually, if you think about it, it's another way of using fillers. What I loved about Graham's use of it is he used it very well, but it could be even more purposeful with the whole purpose of, hey, stand together, power of 3. I love the fact that he used these gestures, but I think he could even use it more powerfully. Just an advanced tip or recommendation for Graham. But overall, well done, club, for using, pausing, pacing, and proceeding, and just being more aware of it. So thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Have I covered all my functionaries? I believe I have. With a few minutes left in the meeting. Oh, yes, Joni, go ahead.
Thank you.
A chat monitor, perhaps?
Oh, yes, and our chat monitor.
Yes, please.
Would our chat monitor like to go first?
Sure, I can go ahead. The chat was very active for the number of members that were there today, and I will keep it short as well. The one thing that really stood out in the chat that I love about this group is this. There were a lot of motivational quotes, a lot of positive images placed into the chat, and a lot of encouragement. And there are some great things like, I cannot control anyone else, but I can control myself. Dr. Byrne also shared some tips as well as some quotes. So I love this chat, and I love to keep it up on the side of my screen so that I can see the communication, the positive reinforcement. So please continue to do that. It's very inspiring, and I believe every guest and every member will find that very helpful. And back to you.
Okay, Joni.
I have an easy roll today, but let's see if we can guess who the best speaker was. I'm frozen.
Graham, yeah.
Yes, it was Graham. All right, now for best evaluator. Can we guess who our best evaluator was
Allison.
for today? It was Sherry.
Sherry.
Because Sherry was the only evaluator. That's the way how you win, being the only one. So last but not least, we have best table topic speaker. And the winner is, drum roll, please, everyone. Jim Barber with his speech on innovation. Back to you, our general evaluator.
Okay. Normally at this point, I'd give some reprieve of what happened during the meeting, but I think that the most valuable thing that I could do the 4 minutes that are left is to turn the floor over to our treasurer, Sarah, because we have 8 days remaining before the club is judged by the big brother do we have enough members to maintain our stuff as a club, as an active club? Toastmasters says by the rules that a healthy club is 20 active paid members, and that you need a minimum of 8 members to sustain your club and not go on suspension, to allow your members to participate in contests and to have access to all the education on the net. This point in time, we may be getting close to falling short. And so I'd like to have Sarah, is she still here or did she go? There she is.
Okay, I'm here.
If Sarah can take the remaining time before we close at 9 o'clock, tell us about where we stand, where we're going, and what you can say.
Okay. Well, I sent out a document earlier today. I don't know if everybody got a chance to see it or not. I'm trying to find it here.
Send it out by email or chat?
I sent it out by email.
Okay.
Anyway, am I showing on your screen?
Yes.
Okay.
It can be bigger, but we're seeing it. There you go. Oh,
okay.
Wonderful.
All right. So this is just a summary of the budget that we prepared for the year 2024-2025, starting at July 1, ending at June 30. We looked at what kind of dues we were planning on getting for the year and the expenses. Now, the dues expense is the dues that we send on to Toastmasters. As you know, our club allows you to pay your dues on our OP website. When you do that, you'll also include your $10 club dues. But you can also pay your dues on the Toastmaster website, but that does not include your $10 club dues. So then the ones that are paid on the Toastmaster website are not included in these numbers. Only the ones that are paid on our website included in these numbers. We're estimating that we will have 3,500 in dues between July and next June. And that is because we're saying that, let me make it a little bit bigger. We're using 60 as the dues amount times 2 for the 2 dual periods. And we're multiplying that, we're just using 22. Although we have 25 members on our roster, we're using 22 to get this number. 60 times 2 times 22 is 3,500. Now that dues member expense, those are dues that we're going to turn around and send to Toastmasters, leaving the $10 in our account and also the cost of processing in our account. So then we're saying that we're going to have at least 2,640 dues that's going to be sent in to Toastmasters. And also down here at a little bit below, it just kind of gives some of our operating costs. It costs us $199 a year for our Zoom account. For our Toastmost account is $50. We have 200 in for marketing, and I don't know how we might want to use that, but there is some money there. 15 for postage. Now the Stripe fees, at first they were 75, but after I went over it some more, I saw that Stripe fees are kind of expensive. So in a year, it may be as many as 200, the cost of processing that $3,500. Then office supplies 25. So a total and operating cost would be 689. And I just mentioned here that originally I had said 75 for the Stripe, that moved up to 200. And originally I had said 100 for the Toastmost account, but it's actually $50 a year, not $100 a year. Okay. This is the bank statement, and this is as of July. As of July 31st, it was $1,669.25. Now I have an update for August. The balance is $1,511.45. And so far in September, based on what we have taken in and spent out, it's $1,507.91 as of September 22nd. You see a 14 cents here and there. That's each month the bank gives us interest. And so we add that interest in to what we achieve, and then makes it $1,669.39. That was for July. For the projected revenue, I just outlined it a little bit, taking into account that $3,500 that we're planning to get based on the 22 members, based on the 25 members. And then the $50 donation, it was said at one time, sometimes members like to give extra money or something come up, somebody may give some money to help out. So it's just $50 there. And that would make it oh, there's an error. It's 3,550 instead of 3,500. And then the projected dues expense, we're projecting that we're going to send 640, and that's based on 60 times 2 over the 2 renewal periods. And actual represents the actual dues submitted to Toastmasters. And this is checked against our bank withdrawals. Because we use Stripe as a credit card processor, our money, when we pay on our OP account, when we pay our dues there, it goes to Stripe. Stripe processes that, and then they withdraw their fees. They keep the balance a few days, and then they send it to our account. So I have to balance what comes to our account against what Stripe said they put in our account to make sure they're not cheating us or whatever, to make sure we're getting all the money that we're said. And then for those people who self-pay, that money does not come through the OP account at all. It goes straight to Toastmasters. So if you do self-pay, kind of remember to come back on our account and pay the $10 for your club dues if you can. And these are just, again, at the operating costs, $99, $50, $200, $200. And then for the postage, and that for a total of $680. So that is the report. If anyone have questions. Now, one thing I did show as far as members paying, in August, we had dues paid of $480 of paid out to Toastmasters, and that included dues for Emily Thompson, Graham Carnes, Carrie Kong, Sarah Dahan, Mariana Grady, and Kirtika. And then in September, that doesn't include people who have paid recently today or anything like that. But in September, we had David Carr, Andre Smolenko, Ruth Ellen Dank. And then for those who went directly to Toastmasters to pay, we had Carl Walsh, Andrew Byrne, Joni Laidlaw, Dr. Sonny Fridge, and Sherry Blake. And also Johnny and Dr. Fridge paid their club dues on our site. So just to reiterate, our balance as of September the 22nd, let me find that sheet, in our account is, well, maybe not. Here it is. September 22nd, our balance is $1,507.91. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so very much. Everybody, please give her a wonderful hand. A whoop, whoop, whoop. She's done a fantastic job. The one thing that you may not know, and I've gotten this question over the years, is why are we using Stripe? And the reason we use Stripe as opposed to, let's say, PayPal or something else, is because our club is distinctive in that we are an international club with international members. And Stripe is the instrument that we have to use to deal with the different currencies from around the world that come into our account and go into Toastmasters. So for those that were not aware of that, Stripe is focused on the international market to allow you to do those kinds of things and make sure you don't get messed up. Before I go, I just wanted to, I know we're running a little bit late, but I'd like to have our guests tell a little bit about their experience of the day, what they walk away from this meeting. Okay, guests, it's up to you. We had guests here tonight, right? That weren't members. Where are they?
There was one, I think there was one guest, but she, it's like maybe dropped on us.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
In any
And
event, we appreciate the guests and we appreciate performing well for them. But
Mhm.
why don't you tell us a little bit about your impression? Because you have not been here very long.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, go ahead.
Not you. Pootie.
I really enjoyed the presentation today. It was very inspiring, very I listened to very knowledgeable speakers. I am going home with quite a balanced view on luck, a view I didn't have before. And I'm just so happy. I think I'm going to join the group. It's I wish that we didn't extend to so late because I have kids to put in bed. But then I have visited at least 5 groups, and this group meets my needs best. Thank you.
Well, we thank you as well. And as Andre said, he's the Vice President of Membership, and he will help you out in terms of filling out the application and helping you prepare for getting that submitted and speaking before the club. If you look at the chat, I just put in the 800 membership applications that you have that available to you. Lastly, we had Marie Claude. Did you want to say how the meeting impacted you, what you walked away from with the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
And I had a role that helped me appreciate that club more because I took so many notes. I could be tired of that, but it was so interesting because I heard so many outstanding quotes that at certain point I had to use 2 pages and I was afraid to waste Madame the Timer's time and also to have her display the red background too much. And so I've learned a lot about luck. I've learned a lot about enlightened self-interest and a lot of jargon that I have never used, I have never understood before if I have heard them. And now I think I have a pack of information to share. Thank you.
Okay. And as I said before, the at timestamp 2108 is the 800 membership application form. You could take a look at that. And I'm sure Andre will help you get things done. Jim, did you have a question? No. Okay.
Nope, I need to leave. Sorry.
We are getting closer to the end.
And I want to add, great job, Madam the Table Topic Master. All your questions were awesome, and I couldn't take notes of them. I wanted to just tell you that.
Okay, thank you very much. And for those that are not aware, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom framing, there is a thing that says notes. I've heard many people say they've taken pages and pages of notes. Zoom is trying to make it easier for you so you don't have to do pages and pages of notes that you later can't find. So if you go to the bottom where it says notes and click on it, it opens up a notepad for you. And that stays with your account to allow you to identify the things that you found interesting and allows you to find it later on as well. I just want to point that out, that Zoom has some stuff that is there to help you. And the last thing is on the very top of the chat, you see 3 dots. Those are called an ellipsis. When you press on that, you'll get a thing that says save chat and allows you to save all the wisdom that was talked about during the chat. And with that, and unfortunately being a little bit over time, I apologize. I turn it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Andre, who will probably ask about who's going to speak next week.
Well, actually, I just want to wish everyone to have a good luck and pass it on to Madam President, Marian Grady.
Yes, we're going to make it pretty quick. I just want to remind you to make the +1 pledge and bring a guest before the end of December. I want to thank Sarah for that excellent report on our finances. And I wish you all a happy fall because that's what it is here in the States. I don't know what it is by you. So thank you all for coming and I look forward to seeing you next time. And please sign up for roles.